UFC Vegas 107. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. I'm looking forward to talking about each of the matchups on this card after seeing the fighters on the scales. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and make sure you share the video too. And also note, I'll be live for the entire card Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss the fight companion. First order of business, disappointment. Trevin Giles pulls out of the fight against Gustafsson. I guess Giles had a weight cutting related fall and ended up hitting his head. Fight is canceled. If you follow the channel, you know Gustafsson was a part of my Lock City parlay that I'm doing this week. So I'm going to concoct something new for you guys at the end of this video. Other notes, there was a handful of some weight mishaps too, which we'll get into. But I do want to start it off with the first fight of the night, the ladies going after it. And hey, no weight miss to start the card off. That's a good thing. Rayani Dos Santos versus Elise Ardelean. Ardelean, I botched her name. I'm sorry, Elise. I think that Rayani Dos Santos should win this fight. I feel like she's a bit quicker in the striking, kickboxing a little bit cleaner. It's like Ardelean has pretty good forward pressure, and she's definitely a dog. I like the way she throws, like bringing, that forward pressure and momentum and backing opponents up. Not necessarily me saying I like the way she throws, like she's got Ilia Topuria boxing combos. That's not where I'm going with this. I think Ardelean is more of that gritty, dog-based pressure boxing wrestling style. Problem is, Dos Santos has some talent. She cuts angles okay. She's got good footwork. Like I said, good kickboxing skills. Relatively good, at least. Jiu-jitsu game is pretty solid for Dos Santos, but Ardelean is not bad on the ground, and she is pretty physically strong. Both girls 0-2 in the UFC, 2-fight losing streaks, and my God, the losses haven't aged well, okay? I mean, I guess you could say the Shauna Bannon loss. It didn't age well. Pooja Tumar dropped her, bro. Shauna Bannon, split decision loss. Ardelean, tough in that fight, L. Melissa Martinez loss. And then the Alencar loss, which is not a horrible L to have on a close decision. Alencar is legit with jits. Pooja Tomar loss sucks. To be fair, I thought she should have won that decision. I'm going to pick Rayani Dos Santos regardless of a loss to Pooja Tomar. I believe little faster, good enough grappling to, at worst, defend Ardelean's pressure takedown attack. And with the strike speed advantage being younger too, I'd say that Dos Santos could be shown improvements. I think she gets a tactical win over a hard 3 rounds, 29-28. Would it surprise me if it's a split decision? Hell no. And I think that Dos Santos on the judges' scorecards is the most likely outcome. Let's check out the ladies on the scale, and let's see what we're looking at. Shout out MMA Junkie for some great picks this week. I have to say, I like their pictures. Ardelean, she looks pretty good on the scale. Physique is on point for sure. She looks to be more in the later 30s. I don't know if that age is a lie. I'm not trying to botch her. I think physically fit and, the body looks fantastic. But, yeah, up top, man, I feel like she looking like she pushing 40. I don't know about that 33, you know what I'm saying? But she looks jacked. Nonetheless, she looks good. Physique is on point. Rayani Dos Santos, can I be real with you guys, man? This is turning into like the AJ Rose show. This has got to be one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen in women's MMA. I'd rather see shaved sides and like a fucking, 6th grade boy cut on some of these chicks than this. I don't know if she's going for like a cartoonish look. Looks like, was it the Flintstones? The woman from the Flintstones? I don't remember the name. Yeah, the haircut's not doing it for. My God, I don't know. We saw wasn't Pinheiro had a similar cut like this. My God, losing aura points. Good face off. Ardelean's in the fight. Dos Santos a little quicker, a little cleaner. I think it's gonna be a close ass decision. The confident pick in here is, bro, we're going to the scorecards over 2.5, but I'll lean Dos Santos in a competitive one. I think it's gonna be coin flippy, to say the least. -205. I would not bet Dos Santos at -205. Ardelean +175. Do I really want to bet her either? No. I like the over. I don't think there's a finish on either side. I think over makes a ton of sense. The over 2.5 is -550. Or as low as -500, which isn't awful. Rayani Amanda Dos Santos. We got multiple last names for. Should pull through. What is this? spread looking like right now? Let me scroll all the way down. You know what? Possible. Possible spread on the minus 130 for Ardelean. Dos Santos, I wouldn't guarantee more of a spread than that. Like, I could see 29-28s across the board or even a split decision. I feel like we're going DGen mode, but I wanted to see the significant strikes. Amanda over 7. Fuck the significant strikes. You know what? Betting side of this one, the over speaks my name, or maybe you're betting on this fight being a close one and you're going for that spread on the side of Ardelean. Either way, the official prediction, Rayani Dos Santos, 2-1, competitive decision win over Elise Ardelean. Let's keep moving up. Next fight, this is a new fight on the card, Bolaji versus Michael Aswell. I'm interested in this matchup for sure. I like Bolaji a lot, but I actually thought Michael Aswell was pretty savage on Contender Series against Bogdan Grad. But you have to confidently pick Bolaji. As much as I like Aswell's pressure style, he's got solid enough wrestling. Boxing is good. Tough dude, willing to eat shots and throw hard shots back. Doesn't give up on himself. I like the way that he mixes it up with his hands. Like, I don't know. I made like a weird Diaz comparison. Not so much the way he throws, but the grit factor of him. Definitely a gritty dude. The thing is, Bolaji is a bit of a freak athlete. He's got big power in his hands. He's got good boxing combinations. I mean, that Dylan Salvador win on Contender Series was spectacular. The way that he ripped the body, like he looked like a future contender. And then, you know, the Timmy Kawamba fight was hard, but Kawamba is tactical, and he looked good at 145 last time, fucking up Romero pretty nicely and knocking him out with the knee. And then last time out for Bolaji, he catches Duncan with a big shot before getting submitted. The striking of Bolaji, I think, is really legit. The grappling threat from Aswell in this matchup isn't huge. And I think Bolaji could land some thunderous shots. Does he put the short notice replacement away? Aswell has not been knocked out as a professional before. I definitely think he's coming in all heart in this fight. But as a 45er, coming up in weight, short notice fight, I think Oki handles business. More punching power on the side of Oki. I think faster hands. But Aswell does have decent boxing in the pocket. And like the pressure style is nice. I think he's going to do fairly well at 145. He's a young guy at 24 years old. So a lot of time to grow and develop. Already now his 13th fight. He's got more pro fights than Bolaji. But I have to go with the talent. I have to go with Oki's explosiveness and power threat. I think those attributes should be enough to deal with an Aswell, especially a short notice Aswell, and a guy who naturally fights a weight class below. So I think Bolaji could potentially outmuscle him if need be. Listen, there's the physique of Aswell. What do I think when I see it? This is a guy who's in relatively good shape all year, but this isn't incredible physical condition that you would see him at 145. He'll be more ripped up. He's a 45er. You can see the 55 weighing. Like, he doesn't look like he had a hard cut. He's ready to go on short notice. He's a 45er taking this fight on short notice. Bolaji on the other side, shredded to the gills, very low body fat. Doesn't look like he had a hellish weight cut either, to be fair. His face doesn't look too sucked out. I think the explosiveness and power edge is a big advantage. There's the side to side. It looks like, you know, this is a full-sized 55er, and this is a 45er who's not cutting some weight. It's exactly what I see when I look at the face-off, and I think Bolaji wins this fight. The power, the boxing, the physicality, I think they should be key difference makers. Now, initially, I was picking my boy Markel Medeiros to beat Bolaji. Now we have a new fight. Minus 360 Bolaji, Michael Aswell. I have to be confident that Oki pulls through. Yes, the odds are not great, but it's about picking a winner at the end of the day, not just chasing the lines. And I think that Bolaji should pull through regardless of the odds being very wide. Do you want to touch anything over minus 150 for an over 2.5? I do think it's probable that we go over. I lean towards Oki by a decision, but he does have knockout power. Just will he show it? Oki decision plus 130, KO plus 145. The props don't intrigue me. I think you could put Bolaji in a parlay. I think that would make the most sense. Fuck the over, and fuck prop betting on this one. I'll go Bolaji, 2-leg parlay piece, or maybe in a long shot, something like that. I do think he pulls through and gets a W. And I feel like decision because of the toughness of Aswell, but expect Oki to have some exciting moments with his striking and land some thunderous shots. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight on the card, we got Jordan Leavitt versus Kurt Holobaugh. I've been picking Jordan Leavitt to pull through all week long. I've been going for Monkey King Leavitt. Now, he's a young guy at 29 years old, so there is a possibility of, relatively large improvements. He was, what, a year and 6 months ago, submitted easy by Chase Hooper. But the Chase Hooper loss has aged well. Chase Hooper's good, man. Chase Hooper is good, especially if you're not a power striker. You don't bring a knockout threat to the fight. Chase Hooper's going to handle a lot of guys that are grappling based, like a Jordan Leavitt, who's got solid wrestling and good jiu-jitsu and good control. Kurt Holobaugh on the other side is definitely a better striker. Kurt Holobaugh's got more of a chance of knocking Leavitt out as opposed to the contrary by a fucking wide margin. Like Jordan Leavitt knocking out Kurt Holobaugh, no fucking shot. Ground and pound, maybe. Submission, maybe. Can you imagine though I say this and then Leavitt chins him? I'm picking Leavitt to win though. Nonetheless, I believe Jordan Leavitt wins this fight. 9 years younger. Definitely has a possibility of improving. We've seen the weakness in the game. Red flag, Kurt Holobaugh takedown defense, and a lackluster get-up game. Look at against Hernandez. Look at against Trey Ogden. It cost them the fights. And if anybody's bringing a wrestling threat to Kurt Holobaugh at this point in 2025, I'm favoring the wrestling threat. Jordan Leavitt's pretty physically strong, and I think that he's going to be able to find his way on top of Kurt Holobaugh and control a majority of this fight. He doesn't need a KO. He doesn't need a submission. He can win 3 rounds with a wrestling-based onslaught. I'm going to pick Jordan Leavitt. Maybe, if he pulls off a submission, that'd be pretty crazy. But Holobaugh's submission game is not bad. He's only been submitted 1 time, and this was way back, bro. 2018, Shane Burgos caught him in an armbar. To be fair, when I think of Shane Burgos, though, I think of kickboxing. So Leavitt by sub would kind of go hard. But I'm going to say Jordan Leavitt by a grind-heavy, wrestle-based decision will make the most sense. Now, as far as the scales between the two, we got Jordan Leavitt bringing back the Mohawk look, looking goofy as all hell, bro. Leavitt's a goofy man. We call him Zesty Leavitt, formerly the king of the twerk, but he said he's not twerking anymore. Thank you. Thank you, Jordan. Please. Do some other weird shit. Just no twerks. And we'll look at Kurt Holobaugh, who's in great shape. He's an absolute dog. It's just his get-up game is subpar and his wrestling game's not great. Looks a little taller than Jordan Leavitt, too. Man, Jordan Leavitt looks like fucking Megamind from the side. I feel like this haircut might be a big mistake. I'm going to say Jordan Leavitt, grind-heavy, wrestling-heavy win. Kurt Holobaugh's takedown defense is enough of a red flag to have me worried, especially at 38 years old, especially due to recent performances. But I will say Holobaugh's striking is better. Holobaugh's striking is more powerful. Minus 240 for Jordan Leavitt. Earlier in the week, he was a confident pick, but I really feel as I've dropped the confidence a tad after seeing the weigh-ins, but I still predict him to win. With Oki now in the lineup versus Aswell, I feel like that replaces the spot. Holobaugh's plus 205 is a big underdog. And Holobaugh's 38 years old, Leavitt 29. I'll say Leavitt lands the key takedowns and wins. Minus 240 for the odds. Leavitt by a decision, plus 135. Submission would be a big deal. That's plus 310. If he submitted Kurt Holobaugh, that's actually a really big accolade. But the official pick is Jordan Leavitt. Judges' scorecards. Fuck the spread. Fuck the over. If you want to bet Leavitt, you got the money line. Outside of that, want to prop chase and go for a decision? You can see my lack of enthusiasm. Leavitt by a decision, plus 135. Where's the sub? Plus 260. What's the KO? Leavitt by KO, plus 1100. Jordan Leavitt knocks out Kurt Holobaugh. His slam KO back in the day of Matt Wyman was sick. He knocked out Martinez, too, back in this fight 2 years ago. He's been out for a bit. But a loss to Chase Hooper is not a terrible L. Kurt Holobaugh's not that level, man. So I'm going to say Jordan Leavitt pulls through. We're going with the Monkey King for the W. Next fight on the card, we have Alan Nascimento versus Jafel Filho. Note this right now. Nascimento, off weight, comes in at 127.5. Motherfucker. Shoot their box guys are just shit at cutting weight, man. A lot of them miss weight. We've seen it with Willie Cat. We see it with Nascimento. I hate it. I hated making a pick for this fight throughout because I flip-flopped on both sides. I settled on Nascimento to win as my official prediction, but at one point I was going Filho. So this is very much a fight where, like, I feel myself tossing and turning. I feel like the weight miss is fucking with my head. The 2 years off is fucking with my head. Nascimento's a crafty grappler who's very physically strong. Nascimento has dominating grappling, which it's like he could use it against a lot of guys, but Jafel Filho has pretty good jiu-jitsu too. He's definitely more capable as far as on paper with the striking game goes. Filho's got more KOs. You don't see it much with Nascimento. Got 5 knockout wins for Filho. Nascimento on the opposite side, just 1 KO. Nascimento's more of like an athletic striker. I'd say Filho a bit more technical, but not super technical. It's a really weird matchup where I try to play it out in my head. I'm like, I see it as super close because you have 2 guys with really good jiu-jitsu skills. Even though Filho's got some striking, I don't think either one specializes in the striking. Filho's definitely got the dog in him, though. Nascimento, I mean, UFC debut back 3 years and 7 months ago. The split decision with Ulanbekov, you're like, yo, this guy's a monster. And then the Jake Hadley domination and then easy sub against Hernandez. He looked like a future contender. He's been out 2 years and 4 months. Since that time, Filho's been fucking doing his thing. I mean, he hasn't fought in over a year, but he did the grappling match with Albazi recently. Easy sub against Ode Osborne, subbed up Barres, but he did deal with a little trouble in the striking early. And then went to war with Mokaev and destroyed his knee. The pick has been Nascimento, but I guess it's like holding on by a fucking thread as I'm talking about this here with you guys. I think this might be one of those internal battle fights. There's Nascimento on the scale. Looks pretty jacked. Looks pretty good, pretty fit. Missing weight, though, so I guess is he a bantamweight? It's not like he looks like he's dying on the scale. I feel like he just chose not to cut the extra 1.5 pounds to have an advantage. Then you got Filho, who looks okay on the scale. He's a pastor on the side. He looks like a youth pastor. There's the face-off. I'm not going to flip my pick. I'm not going to allow myself to. Especially with Nascimento not looking like a debilitating weight cut, more of like a calculated weight miss. Like, hey, I don't want to cut that extra 1.5 pounds. Let's cut the, check a little bit, but let me go out there and have an advantage over this guy. Maybe Nascimento outmuscles him. Pound for pound strength, I favor Nascimento. And that could be a key difference maker too with a 1.5 pound weight miss. That strength could hold up for longer, not shredding the extra water down. The call is Nascimento to win this fight, guys, but not on my slate as far as like high confidence betting wise. He opened up as a -275 favorite. He's now -126. Filho is so popular with the bettors. He's only 44% of the Tapology picks, but fuck, man. Filho +106. I'm going to stick with Nascimento. I see the money's going the other way, though, and that's got me thinking, a lot of heat being thrown down. But could it be because of Nascimento's layoff, but he's still got it? It's not like he's old. He's 32, or excuse me, he's 33. Filho's 32. Man, I feel like Nascimento could end up being one of those guys that just never lived up to the initial hype. I think we're probably going over at -165, but like I said, fuck betting it. I think this fight could end in a close decision. Maybe you're going for the side of the spread. Spread on Filho to make it close, -175 is not crazy. Do I see Nascimento subbing him or 30-27 in him? No. I see it as 29-28. Potential split decision. Striking-wise, Filho maybe a bit more volume with his hands. Nascimento a bit more athletic. Wrestling-wise, Nascimento maybe a bit better at takedowns. I feel like Nascimento is like stronger at grappling, but Filho is very skillful. So it poses the question of like, how's it going to look in the cage? I'll say in close fashion, Nascimento squeaks by with a win, but also misses weight, which is not a good sign. And if he catches an L, missing weight like this, long layoff, UFC could be like, fuck it, we don't need this guy anymore. But we'll go with Nascimento, Mr. Canceling fights left and right to pull through and win. I won't fade my call from earlier, but I'll tell you guys, betting-wise, you know, the sidelines are fun. I'm just excited to see if the pick hits here. We'll go Nascimento W. Let's keep running. Let me pop out this in. Next fight on the card. It brings us to our main card opener. Okay, things are getting exciting now. We got Zach Reese versus Duško Todorović. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button too. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 48,000 subs at the time of this recording. I'm going with Zach Reese to win. And I'm going with Zach Reese to win in violent fashion. Duško Todorović is kind of a sloppy boxer. Like, if I'm just going to keep it real with you, Duško Todorović is slow with his hands, sloppy boxing, loopy shots, throws a lot of fat on his punches. When I mean fat on the punches, right? If you're throwing a hook, you want to keep it a little tighter. He's going to load and throw, right? It's going to kind of come around a little longer, a little wider, right? If it hits you on the chin, can do damage for sure, but also leaves them susceptible to counter shots. And Zach Reese is pretty quick, got a good hook. He's got decent kicks to the body. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's longer for sure. 6'4" to 6'1", 77-inch reach to 74. He's faster. He's more, I don't know. Even though he's like a little older by like a month or so, Zach Reese is not so, you know, chewed on and spit out by the UFC. I mean, we've seen Duško fucked up in 3 of his last 4 fights. He got knocked out bad by Malik in round 1. He lost to Leroy Duncan. It was an injury. He went down and out 2 years ago. So he had a layoff and a half. And fuck, man, he also tore his knee up in training. He beat Jordan Wright after getting his ass kicked in the first round. And then Chidi Bang Bang destroyed him. I feel like Zach Reese destroys him too. Todorović is too slow. Zach Reese is a confident pick, and I think he's getting a knockout win. I think he's going to absolutely make a highlight reel of Duško Todorović. I don't think Duško's very good. If you look at Duško's UFC wins, Daquan Townsend, Mackie Pitolo, and Jordan Wright. Those are some of the bottom of the barrel wins you can have in the UFC middleweight division. And not saying Zach Reese has this great resume, but he did sleep Julian Marquez in one shot. At one point, Marquez was good. The Jose Medina win by decision. Not great, but I guarantee you, if Duško Todorović and Jose Medina had to stand with their hands down and just absorb a big shot to the chin, much more likely that Duško's getting knocked out as opposed to Medina. Medina's one of the tougher fighters in the UFC, even though skill-wise he's not. He's not there. Yeah, I'm going to go with Zach Reese, and I do think he gets a violent knockout of a flawed guy like Duško Todorović. Let's check out Duško on the scale. First things first, Duško looks okay on the scale. Kind of typical Duško. Looks all right. Not in great shape. You know, not in bad shape, though. Some visible abdominals. Just, dude, he's not an athletic person. He doesn't have athleticism. That's his biggest downfall. On the opposite end, you got Zach Reese. Looks pretty shredded. Definitely a more fast twitch guy. And then there's the face-off between the two. Reese a lot taller. Duško's going to be throwing big shots. Reese does got that skinny long neck, which is susceptible to overhand punches, but I don't think Duško Todorović lays him out. I'm going to say Zach Reese by KO in this fight here, and I think he's going to fuck up Duško Todorović. He should, at least. He should. He really should, man. He really, really, really should. As far as the odds for the fight, Zach Reese is a minus 205 favorite. At open, he was minus 225, so not bad odds, 2-1. Todorović plus 175. You know, the problem with Reese is he did get fucked up really bad by Azamat Bakoyev, but you have to ask yourself this question and be real. Like, Azamat Bakoyev or Duško Todorović? There's a level, right? Okay, Cody Brundage slammed him on his head. Fair. But that was 4 fights ago, and that was a kind of wild circumstance. And Brundage is an athletic wrestler. Duško is not athletic. I'll say that KO is live. The over 1.5 is plus 143. The KO prop is not very good at minus 120. What's a spread on Reese if he dominates this fight? If Reese dominates this fight, minus 225. So essentially that is shit too. Most likely it's Reese inside of the distance. I'd probably say knockout in the first or second round seems like your most likely timing, probably under a round and a half. Duško Todorović doesn't have much defense, which is a fatal flaw, and he likes to brawl. And his chin is not very good. And I think that Zach Reese is going to touch that chin and flatline Duško Todorović within the first 10 minutes of the fight. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. Ladies going after it. Ketlen Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. Originally, this is a 135-pound women's bantamweight fight. A high-level contender fight, too. Then they shift it to 145. Obviously, you have to assume it's on the side of Ketlen Vieira, who weighed in at 146, whereas Chiasson came in at 144. Women's featherweight division exists again, I guess. I don't know. I guess we're just doing catchweight action. I mean, what are you gonna do? Cancel the fight? The pick has been Macy Chiasson to win. I do think she defeats Ketlen Vieira. Chiasson's striking from long range is decent. Her clinch work is good though. It's because she's really tall. 5'11" in the women's divisions is crazy. And she's got good pressure against the cage, is able to control women well on the inside, solid enough clinch work, even with offensive striking. Threats of dragging this fight to the ground for sure. And then on the opposite side, Ketlen Vieira has decent power Muay Thai. She's got okay hooks. She's all right on the inside, has some jiu-jitsu. I just think Macy Chiasson, you got to ride the momentum a bit here. 2-fight winning streak for her. The Myro Bueno Silva fight, she got the cut stoppage, and then she finished up Kianzad for a second time. And then fight before that, she was winning against Aldana and actually looking really good before the up kick to the liver just absolutely ended her. I think Macy Chiasson's been getting better each and every time. I feel like we've kind of seen Vieira flatline, and we know the level that she's at. It's like, top 10, top 8, top 7, but she's not elite. Not saying that Chiasson's going to go nab the belt, but I don't know. I think Chiasson is more primed right now, regardless of their ages being the same. I think Chiasson, like I said, has the momentum, and stylistically, I like the matchup for her. I think she can strike well with Vieira due to her length advantage, just being better at straight shots as well. And then as far as on the inside, I think the clinch work of Chiasson is more effective, dragging the fight to the ground more effective. Ketlen Vieira is capable. Ketlen Vieira is strong. Ketlen Vieira has some power. Not really like a big hitter, though. I think that Macy Chiasson tunes her up. This should be the breakout win for Macy Chiasson to get the push up the ranks and, potentially a top contender fight after this. But the problem is at 145 now. Still, this is a bantamweight contenders fight just taking place up a weight class. I'll go Chiasson for the W. I don't want to keep ranting about this damn fight. I think she's a little better. Chiasson with the typical 2010s pretty boy rocker haircut, bringing the thunder there. But looks pretty shredded, though. Give Chiasson some credit. Wow, that sunken in hip on the inside actually looks like a fucking shark bit a piece out of her. But yeah, the abs are on point. She looks lean. And on the opposite side, Ketlen Vieira looked okay. Definitely, I was like, I think Ketlen's the one that wanted the, division jumped. She looks a little frustrated, a little pissed off. It's like she's carrying maybe a little bloat on her. Maybe it's her time of the month. Maybe. And then there's the face-off. I'm going to say that Macy Chiasson by decision. That's the call. Chiasson on the judges' scorecards. As far as the odds for the fight, Chiasson's minus 130, Vieira's plus 110. I do think Chiasson wins this thing. I feel like, as far as a women's fight goes, I just think Chiasson has more weapons, and I think she's sharper and she's more primed regardless of age. And Vieira is consistently under-delivered. It's like, we don't know. Chiasson is like right there, ready to break through to the next level and has ran into a wall, but I think she could break through in this matchup right here. The over 2.5 is minus 255. Yes, I lean towards the over, probably hitting. And then Chiasson to win by a judge's decision, plus 125, plus 135. More than likely, that's the case. If you think it's going to be a close fight, maybe you're going with the Ketlen Vieira spread. Maybe not. It's minus 240. Fuck all that. Fuck all that shit. Fuck that. But yeah, we're going to go with Macy Chiasson. She should handle business against a tough Brazilian girl, but I think size is a factor. I think the wrestling threat is still a factor, though I don't think Chiasson is embracing the grind for 3 rounds. She could use the clinch in the small cage, and she's longer, a little sharper. I'm going to say Macy Chiasson finds a way to beat Ketlen Vieira here. Next fight on the card, we got light heavyweights going after it. We got Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes, which I think is actually a super interesting clash as far as light heavyweights go, because you have Dustin Jacoby kind of like defending the old guard, taking on Bruno Lopes, very hyped up Brazilian prospect. Obviously took a vicious loss the first time on Contender Series, but then was able to come back and beat Savzanyani in a bit of a war. And then won his UFC debut against Magomed Gadzhiesulov and showing some physical strength and wrestling in that fight. I'm picking Bruno Lopes to win here. A big aspect of this fight, which is, I think, the elephant in the room, Bruno Lopes at the apex. Dustin Jacoby does fairly well from mid and long range. With his professional kickboxing background, He's definitely a good mobile kickboxer. He's able to strike from longer ranges and move and, not necessarily stay on the bicycle all the time, but has relatively good footwork. And, I think he appreciates the big cage. Taking on Bruno Lopes in the small cage just screams advantage Lopes. Lopes has good forward pressure. He's got good boxing inside of the close range. I would say he's a proficient boxer in the pocket. And he also has decent physical strength and takedown threats. Now, Dustin Jacoby normally has very solid takedown defense. I do think Lopes could land some decent shots on the inside, work the clinch a bit, even if he is not very successful at getting Dustin Jacoby down and putting him in a dominant position and like showcasing some high caliber wrestling and ground and pound. I think that Lopes can threaten with takedowns to throw the flow of Dustin Jacoby's kickboxing game. I think Bruno Lopes can threaten with takedowns to kind of avoid the big shots from Jacoby if he gets in any testy position. And I do think Bruno Lopes is in very good physical condition, shape-wise. Cardio should be on point, ready to work hard for 3. I got a feeling that Bruno's going to look decent in this fight. I got a feeling because of the apex, he's going to feel more comfortable too. If he was fighting in a big crowd against Dustin Jacoby at UFC 316, that's more, Dustin Jacoby's lane, but he ain't fought at the apex since the Khalil Roundtree fight back in 2022. It's been a minute. And I think that big cage changes things. So on the contrary, the small cage changes things too. And I think the small cage favors the prospect. I'm going to go with Bruno Lopes to win. I feel like he's relatively good, talented guy. Yes, he's been dropped a few times. Yes, he's been caught before and put out, but as has Jacoby. I mean, let's not forget 3 fights ago, Alonzo Menafield dropped Dustin Jacoby bad in the 3rd round. Fight after that, Dom Reyes killed him in 1 shot. And then, yes, he slept Vitor Petrino, but Petrino is kind of just a big body. He doesn't have a high fight IQ. He's got power in his hands, but he's not like technical or anything like that. Bruno Lopes is less imposing physically, but he is probably superior in the department of technical tool sets and MMA fights. So I'm going to say Bruno Lopes finds a way to win against the 37-year-old Dustin Jacoby here. More primed, more potential for improvement, and the UFC Apex. There's Bruno Lopes on the scale. Looks very average at best. Yeah, not a good frame on him. Just to keep it a buck, no. The opposite side, Dustin Jacoby looks decent. Got that thick neck. He's got that gold chain. Looks like he's, defending the fucking trailer park with that chain, son. The king of the park, bro. He's like the godfather of the trailer parks or some shit, man. He's a savage. Look at him. Look at Dustin Jacoby. Then there's the face-off. We got the cowboy. Oh, shit. Brokeback Mountain. Come on, Bruno. What are we doing? Take off the cowboy hat, my friend. Nah, I get it. Bruno's he's a roughneck Brazilian, dog. I'm going with Bruno Lopes. I'm going with the underdog to find a way. I have intuition on this fight. I think it's close. I mean, Jacoby can definitely box with him from distance and throw decent straight shots. We've seen him get KOs, but Bruno Lopes on the inside can make it a dog fight. And I think Lopes could drag this fight to the ground too. I'm going Bruno to find a hard-fought decision win against the aging Dustin Jacoby. But he could catch him too. Plus 150, Lopes money line. If you were to bet on this fight, I would literally just go money line Bruno Lopes. At plus 155 now, boom. Jacoby minus 180 at open. He was minus 182, so the line is the same as open. I feel like Bruno Lopes with a well-versed MMA game plan, but also boxing in the pocket. It's not like Jacoby has this legendary chin. We've seen him hurt too. Lopes KO plus 425. I'm telling you, I really don't like prop betting or anything like that. Lopes over 36.5 significant strikes. I say, yeah, he probably lands over 36. 12 a round about. He should. Spread on Lopes minus 120. I really love the spread here because it could be a finish. Maybe though. I'm going to say Bruno Lopes at plus money, straight money line would be the play that calls my name the most. And I will predict Bruno Lopes to do enough to beat Dustin Jacoby, a skillful kickboxer, but I do think a beatable light heavyweight. And I think Lopes has got some potential here. So I'm going to go with him. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, we got our featured fight of the night, Ramiz Brahimaj versus Billy Ray Goff. My pick has been Billy Ray Goff throughout the week on this fight, and I like the matchup. Short notice scramble for these two earlier in the week. Brahimaj was supposed to fight Oban. Goff was supposed to fight Kyo, and now these two face off against one another. I'm going with Billy Ray Goff. I'm going with the Savage Mode USA and this whole All-American. I like the way Billy Ray Goff mixes it up with his punches. He's got like a dog pressure boxing style, rips the body well, rips the head well, willing to eat shots and keeps coming forward. Definitely got a strong chin on him. Brahimaj can wrestle a little bit. Definitely has shown improvements in his striking per se, but I'm not sold on him running through Billy Ray Goff or pulling some crazy shit off because of a win over Mickey Gall by KO. I feel like Mickey Gall, I know last night me and Finch were talking, he said, oh, Gall's gotten better. I was like, no, I think this is the worst Gall ever that fought against Brahimaj. Yeah, Brahimaj knocked him out. Gall is 7-7 as a pro MMA fighter. Billy Ray Goff, I think he's got some potential. The Trey Waters fight was a close decision. Obviously, went towards Waters, but Waters is also, 6'3" with a crazy reach advantage. In this matchup here, both these guys are the same height, essentially the same reach. You got a half-inch edge towards Brahimaj. That doesn't mean anything. Goff, the younger guy, I think Goff mixes it up better, rips to the body, and I think he can turn this into a dogfight. I think Goff finds success brawling with Ramiz Brahimaj. Goff's style is brawl, and I think stick to your style. Turn it into a scrappy fight, and I think in a scrappy fight, Goff will be the one that comes out on top with his hand raised. And I think mixing shots to the body up is important, and of course, avoiding takedowns for Brahimaj. And I think Goff will do pretty well at defending takedowns too. So I'm going with Billy Ray Goff to find a way to pull through and beat up Ramiz Brahimaj in this one. There's Ramiz on the scale. Looks like a different guy. If you watch Ramiz earlier in his UFC career to now, he looks like a different person. This Billy Ray Goff rocking the flow, respect to the hair. Bro, the most American name in history is Billy Ray. Then there's the face-off between the two. I'm going with Fabio Goff to pull through. I think he wins with his hands. I think ripping shots to the body, ripping shots to the head. I think he'll land some decent power hits. And I feel like Brahimaj, he also has been trading wins and losses for most of his, career since 2018, pre-UFC. He won his last one. He should lose this one. Now, Goff is a big favorite at -370. The odds are inflated, but the pick is still Goff. Plus 295 for Ramiz Brahimaj. I think Billy Goff can turn this into a war and pull off a win. Over 1.5 at -165 is not crazy at all. Goff for a later stage KO, I anticipate, plus 140, but it could end up going all 3 rounds, and it could be a back and forth 3-round fight with both guys having moments. But I'm telling you, that over 1.5 is something to look at, because I think that at -165, that's undervalued. I actually anticipated that over 1.5 to be -210, which is fight ends inside distance. So they think fight is ending inside distance, but going over a round and a half. I feel like it's going over a round and a half. -210? Or excuse me, -165? Huh. Interesting. Very interesting to me. I'll say Billy Ray Goff. I'm seeing like second or third round, heavy onslaught KO, but the safer call is over 1.5, I'd say, or Goff money line. What's the round 3 win for Billy Ray Goff? Fuck the KO problem. Let me just go round 3. Round 3 plus 700 plus 550. Round 2 plus 450 plus 425. That's okay. Not great. I'm going with Goff. I think he wins. I do think we're going over a round and a half, though. But I'll say Billy Ray Goff with a brawling style, mixing up his shots to the body and head, finds the damaging kill shots and can potentially put away Ramiz in this one. Let's go. We're going Savage Mode USA in this all. Co-main event of the evening. We have Mateusz Gamrot versus Ľudovít Klein. I have been picking Mateusz Gamrot throughout the week to win this fight. I still have Mateusz Gamrot faith, which I guess now, hearing from a lot of people, that's kind of at an all-time low. But Gamrot's a good pressure wrestler. He chain wrestles like a fucking madman. But I get the flaw. The flaw is he doesn't have the best control ever, and he gets caught up in over wrestling and just scrambling all night long. Definitely has the cardio to do it. On the side of Ľudovít Klein, he's yet to face this type of pressure / chain wrestler. Ľudovít's striking is nice. Explosive Muay Thai, very heavy kicks, power in his hands too. Well-rounded, has some grappling skills for sure. A great record, 23-4 with 1 draw. Ľudovít Klein's been fighting for a long while, and he's only 30 years of age and is on fire in the UFC right now. 4-fight win streak. when you dissect the win streak and you keep it real, your opinion changes. Okay, Ignacio Bahamondes win. That's badass. A year and 9 months ago or not, badass win. Okay, AJ Cunningham is not very good. Thiago Moises just got creamed by Jared Gordon in a round, but I guess that's impressive. And then Roosevelt Roberts actually made it a tougher fight than it should have been, but short notice and freakishly tall. Very different stylistic matchup to Mateusz Gamrot. But where I'm going with it is still Klein hasn't faced this type of matchup. A guy who's going to be wrestling hard. And it's not like Gamrot can't strike at all. He's not a super proficient striker, but he still was cracking Dan Hooker on the feet. I think Mateusz Gamrot by a decision makes a lot of sense here. I think landing key takedowns, even if not to hold Ľudovít Klein down for any substantial amount of time, but landing key takedowns to fuck the rhythm of the striking for Ľudovít, and then Gamrot landing shots on the feet and making it a more competitive striking battle. I think Mateusz Gamrot is live to pull through in this one, man. I really do. I think Mateusz 29-28, maybe even a 30-27, heavy wrestling, high output, high volume wrestling attack, though, I'll say. Ľudovít Klein's a good striker, but I'm just not fucking sold. I'm not sold that Ľudovít Klein is going to break into the top 10 and beat Mateusz Gamrot. I don't think Ľudovít is that great. I think he's really explosive. I think he's a fun striker. But I never have looked at Ľudovít as a top guy. I think he's skillful. I think he could definitely hold a place in the top 15, but top 7? That seems like a stretch and a half to me. And this Mateusz Gamrot fight is a crazy step up in competition. Fuck, oh, it's a totally different stylistic matchup. Bro, you're going from Roosevelt Roberts to Mateusz Gamrot. Look at Gamrot's recent opponents. Dan Hooker, Savage, RDA, legend. Yes, he was old. Fiziev, injury still. Fiziev's a savage. Jalen Turner, at the time, on fire, and Gamrot took it on 10 days' notice and still won. Beneil Dariush lost. It's Beneil Dariush, especially 2 years and 7 months ago. That was a scary Beneil Dariush. I think Mateusz Gamrot wins this fight. As far as the scales, let's check them out. Let's see how they look. Ľudovít Klein's jacked and shredded per usual. Per usual. Got a creepy look in his eye, though. Ľudovít Klein eyes, right? You got a little creepy look in it. He's freaking me out, Ľudovít. I'm scrolling past. Gamrot just looks fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? He looks psychotic, sociopathic, maybe a blend of the two. Borderline personality disorder savagery. Mateusz Gamrot's good, man. There's a face-off between the two. Gamrot a little taller, but can you look at something? Lies. 5'10 to 5'7. On what planet is Gamrot 5'10, bro? He's 5'8. 5'10. Lies. Absolute lies. Ľudovít's going to have a 2.5-inch reach advantage, too. I think Mateusz Gamrot wins, though. I'm not going to say it's a fraud check of Ľudovít. We've seen him lose. He's been in the UFC a while. But I think it's going to be a check of Ľudovít. I don't think he's quite ready for a Gamrot pressure wrestling style. I don't believe it. As far as the odds, Mateusz is minus 150 as the favorite. Ľudovít Klein plus 130 as the underdog. Now looking towards the over 2.5 sits at minus 300. Yeah, it's going over 2.5. People, oh, well, Ľudovít's got power. Gamrot's been down. Gamrot's been hurt down and always recovers. And I just don't think Ľudovít's that sharp. Like, he's sharp, but come on, bro. You're not knocking out Roosevelt, Thiago. I don't feel like you're knocking out Gamrot. Maybe I'm using too much MMA math, but no, I think I'm just keeping it real. Gamrot decision plus 100. The betting side of this one, I just lean towards the over hitting because I think it's a good back and forth. Spread on Klein minus 205. I mean, I do think he makes it close. What's the takedowns? How many takedowns for Mateusz Gamrot? Oh, fuck, the 3.5? Damn it, bro. I thought it'd be like 2.5. I mean, I could see him landing 4 takedowns. Could. Significant strikes, 39.5. I don't even like that. I don't like either of these significant strike lines, really. Even money for a reason, because the bookie's like, we don't fucking know. Just flip a coin and pick one. I'm going to say Mateusz Gamrot, hard-fought decision, definitely tested and made uncomfortable in moments during the fight. But I do predict that Mateusz Gamrot is able to overcome some adversity in the striking, because Klein's a sharper Muay Thai striker, without a doubt. But with the wrestling threat, I think Gamrot can have some striking success, too. I'm going to go Gamrot W. Let's go. Let's run it up to our main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber to cap the card off. I've been going with Erin cold-blooded Blanchfield all day long. Nothing's going to change. And on top of already feeling good about Blanchfield out-dogging Macy Barber in a 5-round fight, Barber looked like she was on the brink of death on the scales. She weighed in at 126.5, misses weight by half a pound, but looked like she had a hellish time cutting that weight. And Erin Blanchfield, championship weight, 125. On point, looked very confident too. Now, I've spoken about this all week, and if you haven't heard it, I'll just reiterate. Macy Barber does not have the 5-round UFC high-caliber main event experience. Erin Blanchfield is coming off of back-to-back 5-round fights, and people will give her so much shit about getting outstruck by Manon Fiorot. Manon Fiorot is still a skillful striker. Like, oh, well, Valentina fucked her up. Well, okay, is Valentina not considered one of the women's GOATs? She still made it a close fight with Valentina regardless, but that's besides the point. Erin Blanchfield landed a thunderous high kick in round 5, never quit on herself throughout that entire fight. Yeah, Erin Blanchfield's striking is not her best attribute, but she does have the ability to bring forward pressure and still make it a dirty fight and mix in striking. Even if it's not technically pretty, I still think it's efficient enough that she could mix it up on the feet with Macy Barber. Wrestling-wise, if Blanchfield gets this to the ground, she has a big advantage in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I do believe Blanchfield gets it to the ground. I've called her Blanchfield for a long time because she mauls people on the mat. And Macy Barber has been taken down and controlled by much lesser girls. Blanchfield's a fucking lock in this fight. Macy Barber's a fast starter. 3-round fighter, too. Macy Barber's got high output. She comes out crazy. Macy Barber with multi-shot combinations. She looked really good against Ketlen Sermonara, but Sermonara is a long-range kickboxer who doesn't have much of a wrestling threat. And let's be real here, past their prime. Blanchfield is 26 years old, absolutely in her prime now. So is Barber, to be fair, 27. But the nickname The Future is going to hold Barber back because you're talking about the future. That's when she's going to be at the top level. What about the present? Erin Blanchfield is cold fucking blooded, and it is her time. She is the motherfucking present. I think Erin Blanchfield can drag Macy Barber to the floor and beat the shit out of her. I think she could threaten with submissions too. And I think in the striking, she's not completely outgunned. I think Blanchfield's toughness, she eats a big shot, she fires back. Barber's not knocking her out. Oh, Macy Barber, she's now got this fucking Ngannou knockout power. She's going to catch her with a big overhand. What's she going to do? Kick her in the head and knock her out? I don't see that at all. I think that Blanchfield will walk her down and bully her backwards, especially in the small cage too, but regardless of the cage size. Macy Barber's style is built for 3 rounds. Come round 4 and 5, I believe Macy Barber will be substantially slowed down. Looking like shit on the scales. We'll bring the scales up in a second. That doesn't help her at all either. Blanchfield is live for a submission in this fight too. Blanchfield is live to do some damage in this fight. And Blanchfield is definitely live to make a motherfucking statement in this fight against Macy Barber. That'll put her on a 2-fight win streak, and she's back in the title picture at 26 years of age. Let's check out the scales between the ladies. And let's see. Macy Barber, she looked terrible. Look how awful. This is the look of your main event winner. 0% chance. She looks terrible on the scale, and she doesn't even look shredded. What's going on with her? Does she have an injury going on? What's happening? She looked terrible on the scale. Erin Blanchfield, listen, she looks like Erin Blanchfield normally does. Smile on her face, ready to go to fucking war. And look at the face off. Blanchfield, nose to nose, staring into her soul. I think this is an Erin Blanchfield showcase fight. There was a lot of trash talk. There was some beef. They were intense at the fucking face-offs. They weren't joking around. These ladies were ready to kill one another. Holy shit. It's Erin Blanchfield's time to shine, really. And I don't think Macy Barber stands in her way and beats her. I don't see that. I think that's extremely low likelihood. I would say that's a relative shock if it came to be. I think that Erin Blanchfield is going to dominate. Like, Blanchfield's the savage prospect, the savage up-and-coming contender that I really had faith would even, get to the title faster. But I think she's still well on her way. Macy Barber has always been one off from it. Like, I still remember Andrea Lee getting her down. Fuck, man. Roxanne Modafferi beating her ass years ago. Erin Blanchfield's built different, and I think she handles business here. against a skillful Macy Barber and a good quick striker, but a girl who's going to be out muscled as soon as they hit the mat, and out technique too, but also out dogged over 5 rounds. Let's look at the odds for the fight. So money line minus 250. Blanchfield, a bit of a chalky favorite, is what it is. Plus 210 for the side of Macy Barber. I believe that Erin Blanchfield at minus 250, very live to pull through. You know, seeing how bad Barber looked on the scales, Blanchfield could end up pulling off a later stage submission, plus 450, or excuse me, plus 400 for Blanchfield sub, plus 350, also an option. Decision, minus 110. That's no fun. Betting wise on this one, I would say Erin Blanchfield 2-leg parlay piece is probably your key recipe. You want to add a little sprinkle on submission. You're thinking maybe she pulls it off late. Definitely a live outcome, but decision is also super live. I can see her out dogging Barber late in the fight, controlling a bit. But I will say Blanchfield goes for that submission kill when be. And I do think Erin Blanchfield is going to wilt the skillful Macy Barber, who's kickboxing I do like, but doesn't have that 5-round main event experience. She's not coming off fights against the best women in the world. Looking at Blanchfield beating Thug Rose and still going 5 hard with Filho. And that was now a year and a month ago. She's gotten better since then. And she still landed that thunderous high kick. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doubting Erin Blanchfield. Blanchfield's got that dog in her. And I think great success is coming this Saturday for the Savage. I'm looking forward to it. Cold-blooded Blanchfield, main event winner, submission or decision, official prediction. But I do feel like with the weight miss, sub is more live. And I'm pretty damn excited to have the UFC back. Now, those are the predictions, but I'm not done yet. I got more to do, okay? We have to talk about not only the parlays, but we have to talk about a replacement for the Lock City parlay since the Gustafsson-Giles fight got canceled. And I will first mention it. I said, you know what? Give me Blanchfield and then the Gamrot Klein over 2.5. Is it in the plus money territory? No, but it's a late notice, scramble, and replacement. It is what it is. If it's Wednesday, you guys know I always bring the plus money. But today, I had to go based upon what I feel on the inside is high likelihood, and I'm going to stick with the over in the Gamrot and Klein fight, and we're going to put Blanchfield in the lineup, make a little magical too. But I understand. Some might say, bro, fuck touching an over. I want straight fighter picks. If it's fighter picks only, I do think Blanchfield and Reese is live to hit as well at plus 102. That's why I called it safe-ish, because I think it's relatively safe. Now, at the top, you have Gamrot, Klein, over 2.5, and Dos Santos, Ardelean, over 2.5. It's boring as fuck, minus 170. But I do think it's possible to go out and hit. I would even say probable to hit. And if you really wanted to stretch it to like over central, maybe you're just feeling overs. You're like, yo, fuck anything else. I just want to be an over better, and that's really all I care about. Okay, well, you could go over Gamrot, Klein, over in the Dos Santos Ardelean fight, and you could go over in the Ketlen, Vieira, and Macy Chiasson fight, plus 105 if you're going over savagery. A little not for the screenshotters edition. If you're sitting here listening to what I'm saying, you know I'm dropping more heat. But let's keep moving down. So this plus 120 parlay that you see, initially it was Blanchfield, Gustafsson, and the Dos Santos Ardelean over 2.5. That got fucked. So I said to myself, fuck, man, I'll put Oki in the lineup. I do think he beats Aswell. Plus 120. But I love the Gustafsson call way more. It fucked my parlays. It is what it is. And I wanted to keep value for you guys instead of just like dropping the value way down without Gustafsson. I'm like, all right, let me put somebody in there. Now, the 3-1 son was 3-1 when it had Gustafsson. It ain't 3-1 son. It's fucking nearly 2-1 son. Fathering you guys, I guess. Gamrot, Klein over, Dos Santos Ardelean over, and then Blanchfield with Oki. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, the lucky plus 236 was initially plus 333 with Blanchfield, Reese, now Oki instead of Gustafsson, and the Gamrot Klein over. My God, I was pissed, though. I was so pissed. I was so pissed, man. Gustafsson was such a lock. And with the Gamrot Klein over, I just felt it coming in the air tonight. And I knew that knockout was coming, too. Seeing Giles struggling to make that weight, I knew it was going to be a struggle. I saw him on Instagram. Damn. Sucks he fell, though. Well and speedy recovery to Trevin Giles, nonetheless. But annoyed we're not getting the fight. Then you keep on moving down. At plus 432, you got Blanchfield, Reese, Goff, Oki, Gamrot, Klein over 2.5, and Dos Santos Ardelean. So that one there, you just add in Billy Ray Goff to the Oki lineup. Not as fun as it once was with fucking Gustafsson, but is what it is. I think it is live to hit. Blanchfield, Reese, Goff, Oki, and Lopes. You want to throw an underdog Savage in your lineup? Plus 802. Now, for the doggy style parlay, okay, I kind of got fucked over. It was initially Markel Medeiros, who I thought was going to hit, Bruno Lopes, and Macy Chiasson, which was seeming to me like the money call of money calls. Well, doggy style loses the fun because now I have to add chalk to it. It's Lopes, Chiasson, Blanchfield, Gamrot, Klein over 2.5, and Dos Santos, Ardelean over 2.5. And I don't know how I just absolutely botched it. Dos Santos. I don't know what I'm going with. Plus 1,017. How much fun is that? Not much. It's completely lost the fucking thunder, man. Now I'm pissed. I'm pissed just looking at it. Whatever. This card, it's a fucking Apex card, man. Things go awry. So bet intelligently. Maybe cut the unit size a half. Take a fucking chill pill. Then down at the bottom, the Savage D-Gen, Blanchfield, Reese, Goff, Oki, Lopes, Gamrot, Klein over 2.5, and Dos Santos, Ardelean over 2.5, plus 1377. Bang, bang, Savage D-Gen. Again, without Gustafsson, things just, they hurt. They hurt, man. It fucking pisses me off losing that fight. That was such a good fight. That was such a good fucking bet. That was such a lock. All right, I'm not going to keep complaining. I'm done complaining about it. Done complaining about it, chat. But I will concoct something real quick. So I was thinking to myself, like, yo, if you went D-Gen dog, Bruno Lopes, if you went Savage, Aaron Blanchfield to pull through, and then you said, fuck it, I'm feeling good early the night with Oki, plus 386 for this little 3-leg. If you're looking for a 3-to-1 wonder, that's live to hit. Now, I understand some will say, bro, fuck the Bruno Lopes line. Obviously, you can take it out. Aaron Blanchfield and Bolaji Oki safer play at minus 125. I do think also has a pretty damn good chance coming through. Now, if you want to get crazy with it, maybe you want to go Reese by KO on your lineup, you can bring it up plus 2. It ain't even worth it, bro. Plus 245, though. For a Reese by KO. I'd rather just put the money line and get less, and then he wins by fucking sub. Plus 158. I'd rather just do this. I like this 3-leg, too. That's it. That's it for the parlays. I'm not going to keep going. All right? We can get too crazy. That's what I'm thinking. I had to adapt and evolve my parlays from Wednesday. It is what it is. Fighters pull out. Shit happens. But, yo, I'm excited as hell to have the UFC back. I'll be live for the whole card, so make sure you guys tune into the Fight Companion. We're going to hit 48,000 subs by then. We might have hit it already by now. So make sure you guys hit subscribe. If you're new, I love you. Welcome to the show. For my OGs, I love you. Thank you for being here as always. I need to pop this in real quick. Smash the like button on your way out. Big W's to the people. If you've been tuning in for my lunchtime live, this is a special announcement if you haven't. We had our 100th episode this afternoon. Special fighter guest. Had Cody Durden on the show. I'll definitely put the replay to that stream linked up in the description if you guys want to check it out, because it was a pretty damn W stream for the people. And if you're not watching the lunchtime lives, I feel like you'll probably enjoy them if you like the vibe of the weigh-in shows already. So W to the community. I love you all. W's in the comments if you got nothing to say, but definitely let me know what you think of my predictions. And if you want to just angrily rant about the Trevin Giles and Gustafsson fight getting canceled, join me in that because I'm pissed off as well. Is what it is. Bringing the thunder tomorrow. Full card, Fight Companion. I will see you all there. I love you guys. W to the people. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.